Hello guys, Exto here and welcome to the Colour Talks. These modules you might have already already had tutorials, but recently they got a full revamp and they all have new solving methods. Well, almost all of them, but I'll get to it when it comes to it. Some of these will look the same as what they used to, and some will look a lot different than what they used to. I'm going to start off with the one that's changed the least, that is Jaden Smith Talk. Jaden Smith Talk here. The solving method is exactly the same as it was previously. We're going to be shown a quote, and we just have to say whether or not this is a quote Jaden Smith has made on something, basically. So, this is males are amazing. As we can see, the actual quote is females are amazing. So this is not a quote by Jaden Smith, so we press no. Oh, we get some module. Next, now since we've got the one that still has the tutorial, we can now do this, and here's the rest of them. The next one I'm going to go for here is probably the scariest one for me out of all of these, KTaNE. KTaNE is, again, very similar to its original version, in the sense that we're converting from one unit to another unit, but instead of just typing the last three characters, as the original was, we are typing the entire thing, so you might get some quite big numbers in this. So in this case, we're going to be converting from long tons to kilograms, and this diagram, you can follow it around using the black parts as help to figure out where to go from each of these different forms of measurement. So let's get the text field calculator out, and we're going to be going from 6324 long tons, so we're down here, and we try to get up to kilograms here, or across to kilograms here. So preferably we need to get out of tons back to grams. So in this case, we're going to go from long tons to, which is just described as ton. We get to short ton. We go to stone here. This is probably better. Wait, reading the graph is specific here. So we can go from long ton to short ton by multiplying by 1.12. We can then get from short tons to pounds by multiplying by 2000. So we now have pounds. To get to ounces, we take the pounds and multiply by 16. So now ounces, we now get to decagrams by multiplying the ounce value by this number. So now decagrams. To get from decagrams to hectograms, we divide by 10. And to get from hectograms to kilograms, we divide by 10 again. And then we take out anything past the decimal point, and this is what we submit, hopefully. So, inputting this into the module, we input the number, and if it's the correct digit, it will move on to the next one. So hopefully, so this is our number, and if we press this button, we submit, and we get a self-module. So unlike the previous version, you had to type in the full number rather than just the last digits. I believe this probably was changed because you would often get like 000 as the answer. So that was KTaNE. Next, let's go in order now. KayMazey Talk. So we're going to be shown a word in the middle here. We could be in this grid here, in this case knob. All of these, you can see, are words which are silent K. And since we now have our finishing position, we can now click the circle. And we now get put a different part in the maze. In this part, Nout. Which is around there somewhere. There. But specifically, if the screen does not contain the capital K, aka it just has lowercase n rest of word, you press the opposite direction than you want to move. So in this case, we want to first move down. Since it has the capital K, we move down. Knee has the capital K, so we move left. Yes. We can move down. Move down again, but let's see if we can get... Yeah, here we go. Example of the K being missing off the front, meaning to move left now, we have to press right. As you can see, it moves that one. So we're now knocked. We can move down to knob. I guess our module. So that was KayMazey Talk. Just clarify again. It will only show the last letters after the K. Press the opposite direction then you want to move in. Next, let's go for this one. This is new KayMazey Talk with a K. So we had to find the word in the grid. Sometimes it will be on top of some blocks. You might ask, what blocks? These blocks. There'll be blocks hidden by the background, and so the word will be on top of them. Ironic, atop them. So, find the word at the top. And now we look in the positions relative to this word of where these blocks are. This will be top, middle, and middle right. So we have top, middle, and middle right in relative to the word on the module. So now taking this, we then have to look at the two words and submit the one letter that is common between these two words. In this case, refs and fawn both have an F in them, so we submit letter F. These arrows move a small amount, and these ones move a slightly larger amount. These move one letter, but I don't think it can be J, so hence why it skips it. So we submit F and get a sub-module, and the word moves to the middle, and you can see what can happen if it spawns in the middle, basically. Next, let's have BoozleTalk. This one will look pretty similar to the original look, but the changes here is it's not a preset set of words. It can use letters from any of the three sets, and you'd identify the category and then submit by once again clicking on the module as original BoozleTalk, but referring to the category rather than the word. So in this case, do we have these letters here? We do have that letter here. That's T. T-A-C-O. Taco. That is a food. So we're going to be spinning on 6. And just to show you, this is what set 2 looks like. This is what set 3 looks like if you get those instead. So we've got 6, we're going to be submitting on 6. 8, 7, 6. And it will reveal the word afterwards. So that is BoozleTalk. Translate the word from BoozleGlyphs. Identify the category it's in, submit on that number by pressing the module on that number. As the last digit of the timer, that is. Actually, any digit of the countdown timer. So you don't have to wait for a whole minute if you want to, if one of the digits in the timer is the one you need. So that's actually good to know. It can be any digit, not just the last digit. Next, we have Arrow Talk. This one's going to be reminiscent of where it was originally, but as you can see, the arrows now come out of a middle sort of thing, and There's not the numbers anymore, so it can be more of a solo. So, but it works the same as the original, as we will be pressing all of these arrows twice, basically. And the cool thing about this is if you refresh the page, you can get another look at what colours, what refers to what on here. Because these will always point to where they're meant to be on here. So, we're looking for 157.5 degrees. We can either logic that out or refresh to find it. I'm going to show refreshing here. And then we can see it appears down here, meaning it refers to this arrow down here. One counter from purple, we go to the purple arrow, and then go one counter clockwise from it. Once you click one, it will start flashing, and then when you click it again on the second loop, it will stop flashing. 8:15 PM, or just 8:15. This refers to where the hand would be pointing at this time. 8:15, well, 8 will be around here, so 8:15 might be this one, let's see. You do this if you just need to double check it. But this is very much a solo now. Yeah, there we go. 8:15. So that is this one. North-northeast. North-northeast. Clockwise from right. Go to the right. Go clockwise. This refers to, if you were to draw this on a graph, what direction would it be pointing in on a graph? So -1, 2 would be -1 in the x direction and 2 upwards. So that would be this one, I think. Let's just check. Yes, there we go. So it would be one square left and 2 squares up, which would be a more vertical than horizontal line pointing mainly to the left. Then we have west, then north, west, north, and then red, it could just take you the colour. Now we have all of these flashing, we now go back the other way. All of them are back in play again. 3:45 AM, so 3 would be here, 3:45 would be down here, I think. Yeah, there we go. 8:15, that's the one we had earlier, wasn't it? It was 8:15. 5:15. 5 would be down here, so it's probably that one. Getting all the times on this one. Yeah, 5:15. One clockwise from yellow. Go to yellow, go one clockwise. 292.5 degrees. Well, if we see that one, 337, I'm assuming it's the one backwards from it. Because this would be minus 23.5 or 22.5. So minus 22.5 from that, we get that's half of it, and then twice it will be 45. So minus 45, we get that. I think it will be the one here. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. 6 counter from violet. Go to violet, which is this one. 6 counter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Blue. Fine. Okay, so module. Next, let's do standard KayMazey Talk. This one again is very similar to its original. That being highlight the buttons and you'll see a sentence for what you have to do. If the serial number contains a vowel, which it does, press the red button. However, you might have seen what I highlighted there. There's an extra thing here. Input the color code once the module is solved to gain the ability to test your knowledge. While knowledge being tested, the module will not strike, but we still be judged based on your performance. So, we have the answer here. If the serial number contains a vowel, press the red button. Get yourself module. And then input the color code. I'm assuming that's this one. and then you can answer questions from. That's actually pretty cool. You can answer questions from Impossible Quiz. I don't know what the answer to this one is, so deal. And you can just go from there. So you can test your knowledge of Impossible Quiz. And then the final one we're looking at here is quote crazy talk end quote. So in this one, we will have 4 words, but all of the 4 words will have one letter replaced with Q. So we have to figure out what the words is with the changed letter and find them in the grid here. So QIKI is probably like Tiki. It could be something icky. Wiki. HQYA. Would that be Hoya? Would it be? Higher. Oh, obviously. ICKQ Icky. Yep. And ISQE Isle. Yeah. And now you should see that these are arranged in sort of a up, left, right, down sort of arrangement. We should now find where they would be in that sort of arrangement. We find the closest number to them. So, upwards we get 7, to the right we get 8, down we get 5, and to the left we get 7. Now, press the screens in order of each with closest digit on their corresponding edges. So the edges, they would be in their compass direction that they're primarily in, compared to the others. Go clockwise, starting from the one in quotes. Okay, the one in quotes here. So, this one was Isle. So we're going to be inputting 7, then going clockwise from that. Yeah, going clockwise. Going clockwise from that, we get 8. Clockwise from that, we get 5, and then clockwise from that, we get 7. 7, 8, 5, 7. Okay, that's a module. So that was the new colour talks. That being Arrow Talk, BoozleTalk, Crazy Talk with a K, KayMazey Talk, Kilo Talk, Quote Talk, end quote, Standard Crazy Talk, and the one you can't see, Jaden Smith Talk. So, hopefully, all of these new versions, which I like all of them, all these new versions, you understand how they work now. Hopefully my explanation was fine enough for each of them. These are quite simple modules, so I apologise if I haven't explained some of them well enough, but hopefully you understand how these work. So hopefully you understand how the new colour talks work, and I'll see you guys in the next tutorial. I'll see you later.